Tracy put down on play 4.
Hey now.
Do they go early? They will. But twice in 1 week off the post. He's done it again. He's done it again.
Hello and welcome to Thursday Lines. I'm your host for today, Nikki. It's good to be back. Thanks for having me, boys. Thursday Lines is proudly brought to you by Little Birdie TV, topsport.com.au and Punting Form. Joining me today is MG because we've got a lot to cover in the AFL from last week. And on location today, Toprope with the NRL news. How you going, Toprope?
I'm great. It's Origin just around the corner. Olympics coming up. Open Championship next week. There is plenty on.
There is most definitely plenty on. Excuse me. Just want to show you. I'm on the train. Make the Bulldogs great again. You can't see this.
That's the train that used to go past Belmore and honk the horn every time we went past. Make the Bulldogs great again. Here we are. What a year.
What a year. We've had two amazing games. Like, obviously, we know the Bulldogs aren't my team, but this is a team I can get behind. And we were talking about this on Sunday, that you and I both need to make our plans for the first Sunday in October, just in case one of our teams makes it. Yes?
Yeah, I'd be a lot more confident that your team's going to make it than mine.
I've got full faith in the boys. They don't even have Addo Carr back yet. And obviously, we've had the two Origin teams announced. So, like I suspected, Kalen Ponga has been named, obviously on an interchange, but that's not too bad. How do you see it so far without having a good look at it?
Oh, I still probably say one of absolute morals if they just picked Davis to see us, but putting Kurt Capel and Jeremiah Nanai on the two edges has left them a little vulnerable, but history is certainly on Queensland's side in terms of game threes, deciders, Suncorp Stadium, all that stuff. So I'm a bit of a slave to the numbers, and I'm going to trust that Billy Slater's smarter than Malcolm Maguire and back Queensland in the side.
In Billy, we trust. MJ, can you tell me a little tidbit about what you were saying Madge applied for during the week?
They're going to take the bus down Caxton Street. Yes. Apparently applied to the council. Is that true, Toprope? They applied to the council to go down Caxton Street, but they were denied.
Of course they were.
Well, New South Wales famously used to do that.
Yeah.
Back in the early 90s, and did it the last time they won a side rep at Suncorp. I'll give Maguire this. He mightn't be the best tactician, but he's a student of history. But it hasn't been done in a long time for other New South Queensland. So I think a bit more a PR stunt than anything else. That one.
Yeah, health and safety might have been an issue, I think. Given you term to rocking the bus, I would have thought, Toprope.
100.
All those cans that once filled Lang Park were thrown and might be headed towards the New South Wales bus.
Be a good sight, though. I love it.
Oh, yeah. Like, you'd see no better PR stunt, no better TV, because would they actually be able to get off the bus? I don't know.
It wouldn't be too dissimilar to the Cronulla riots 20 years ago, the way the Queenslanders react to New South Wales from these days.
All right, MG. Wow. We had a pretty good week in the AFL last week. Few upsets?
Yeah. Bookies weekend again. The bookies have been on fire most of the year, actually. They're just doing the stats. Favourites only run the 59% this year, which is,
we were just talking about
they use about 70% as a par rule. The bookies having a feast, especially in the last couple of weeks. So, there's only 3 covers and 4 favourites on the weekend. So, went to the Essendon Collingwood game. Bit disappointing, the crowd only got...
Depending who you actually follow.
No, well, the game aside, but the crowd only 81,000 was...
really?
Disappointing, I would have thought, at least 10 below. But, Essendon getting the job done after Collingwood jumped them early. And the crowd, if they checked the crowd, I reckon about in the third quarter it would have been sub 50. So a lot of Collingwood supporters leave early. But, a couple of really good games. Kangaroos having an upset, finally getting a win over the Gold Coast, who still haven't won on the road. Huge upset, obviously, GWS. An unbelievable game against the Blues, knocking them off. So Carlton got off to a flyer again, and then GWS just went berserk second and third quarter to get the win there. And obviously St Kilda upset. So, top 2 sides actually had a loss on the weekend. So, disappointing. Sydney getting beat. Got our chips in at the right price there, but, just got beaten by a pretty ugly game, really. If Sydney had kicked straight, they would have won, but, wouldn't have covered the line. But, definitely upsets, and obviously off the park, I guess Heaney still he's going to take his tribunal, one of the favourites. I think he was maybe 3rd or 4th favourite going into the weekend. He's kind of stopped the last month or so, but he's going to take it to the appeals board tonight to try and become eligible again for the Brownlow. But plenty going on in the AFL. Like the NRL, it's pretty close competitions really when you look at the ladder, and what do we got, 7 or 8 weeks to go now. So it's going to change weekly. So, yeah, makes for good betting. And both the premierships are wide open, really, in terms of how they've been in previous years. So, yeah, it's good for Top Sports, I guess. They get plenty of action on the futures all the way to the end here.
Oh, yeah, unbelievable. And obviously now that the futures are in sight, it's a good time to start betting as well because you don't have to wait that long for the result.
It's true.
And Wimbledon semi-finals, how are the Italians?
Here we go.
I'm just going to say, so all the betting for the Wimbledon semi-finals is obviously at topsport.com.au, but you've got in the men's, you've got Alcaraz is still there. Djokovic is going to play Musetti, Lorenzo, the baby Italian, after a work. Well, he's the baby's like 22. Walkover with Demonor.
Yeah.
But so you'd think that obviously Djokovic is going to be the favourite now, but the Italians and obviously the girl, Paolini. Oh, interestingly enough, these two Italians are both from Tuscany.
Yeah.
I don't know if that is the water. But,
yeah, I think unfortunately for Demonor, and he's in a race against time now to get to the Olympics as well. So that's not good on the news from the Australian front. So, yeah, I think he said his injury was about 4 to 6 weeks. So he was unable to make it to the court to play Djokovic, which would have been a cracking game, really. So Djokovic just had a dream draw this Wimbledon. He's had the walkover. He gets to play your Italian in the semi. So, yeah, I think Medvedev was unbelievable in 5 sets winning. But, yeah, I think it'll be the two favourites in the men's. Rybakina was awesome last night. She just dismantled. She's a strong favourite now at $1.53. You can find that on Top Sport. I just think she's too good in the women's. Her game, she's on song. Her serve's huge, and on the grass, it's a massive advantage. So I think we'll get a good final in the men's. I'm not so sure in the females. I think she'll win her second one in 3 years.
Okay, I like that. So maybe she's just good for a little multi. Add her in as a multi-level. No worries.
Yeah, if you can find the men's one for sure. Yeah.
Okay. And then we go to the Euros because obviously now we have our finalists. We've got Spain playing England, obviously after some controversy in the Spanish game afterwards. And obviously, the 90th minute England scored with one of the subs?
Yep.
Yeah. And so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, they'll stop bagging their coach, maybe the English supporters. They've been all over him the whole tournament. He's taken them to the final. So,
well, has he taken them to the finals or the players have taken them to the finals? I'm not sure.
Well, the coach gets the blame if they're not going any good. So you've got to give him the kudos when he gets them there. But
we need the memes.
Yeah, so Spain are going to be 240 in the final. Again, you can find that at Top Sport. Yep. So, unfortunately, their captain got sideswiped by the security guy after the match that came out and took his legs out. So he's in a race against time to play. And they had their 16-year-old score and create history. Imagine being 16 years old and being in the semi-final and actually scoring. It's unbelievable. And, England are chasing their first major trophy still since 1966. So they knocked out Netherlands. So, yeah, it'll be unbelievable final. But it'll be close, obviously. It's soccer, so it's always close. But, yeah, I think Spain will get the job done.
And in the Copa America, we have Colombia taking on Uruguay in the finals, which is going to be really, really good. And we've got the Tour de France. Paris Olympics is only a little way away. Toprope is working on those as we speak, and he's saying, look, that'll be out. The Olympics package, I think, is $99, and that's going to be out a few days before the Olympics start, or maybe the day before. And obviously all that betting is at topsport.com.au. If you haven't signed up for the GGOA or the AFL Stings, you can get that in the Little Birdie live TV shop because, as we said, we are hotting up and the finals is wide open in the race to the premiership. All right, it is time for Thursday Lines, proudly brought to you by topsport.com.au. Family owned and operated for over 35 years. Bet with a bookie you can trust. Bet with TopSport. Okay, MG, let's go to the AFL Premiership prices after a few shock losses on the weekend. What have got? The Swans at $3.15 and Carlton right behind at $3.75. Obviously, you got the value at Brisbane Lions when you got them at what you back them at.
Yeah, I think Brisbane are the movers. The top two didn't really change too much. Both, reasonably close losses. So they're still 1 and 2 on the ladder with a fair break. Carlton have got a very easy draw home. So I don't think their prices will move too far. Brisbane, all of a sudden it's starting to open up where they can track for a top 4 spot. They've got to win a few games going home, obviously. But, and then it's just chopping and changing really behind it. The Giants, Geelong look like they've got a good draw. And Fremantle are the ones that have jumped up, into the top 4 now. And if you like your team, Essendon, the market certainly does it at $19. But Essendon, obviously late in the season now, top 4. They have got a toughish draw.
People
going
love to
home,
hate the Bombers. They love to hate. You know that.
No, any of the big clubs, the people didn't like Richmond when they were up there, and it looks like Carlton and Essendon might partake in the finals this year in a strong way. So
the AFL is loving it.
Plenty of action in the futures for sure.
And Brownlow, so we might see a little bit of movement here depending what happens tonight with Heaney. But what do we got? Cripps at $3.45, Dacos $4.50, Bontempelli $5.50, Zach Merritt of interest $6.
Yeah, so Heaney's obviously just he was around the $6.50 mark going into the year. Going into this week, sorry. So he will appeal tonight, the appeals board. So obviously if he gets cleared, he'll go back into the betting there and they'll just fill out a bit. But yeah, Cripps is favourite. But yeah, there's some class. Obviously Neil's now come right into the betting as well for Brisbane, going well. No one takes votes off him at $9. He's probably a couple of games off where Cripps and Dacos are at the moment. But yeah, there's plenty of chasers. The count's hotting up for sure.
Let's go and have a look at some NRL premiership prices. What have we got? Penrith at $3. The Roosters $3.60. The Storm $4.80 and the Broncos at $11. Toprope.
Yeah. I don't know how you cannot be impressed by the Roosters. They continue to shorten. They were super impressive last week. And JWH's record-breaking game last week, they really lifted for that one. They've probably got the easiest one. What was that, Nikki?
I said, you're right, they did lift because we were obviously having quite a little bit of chats throughout that game. And
we were.
Yeah, they did lift.
Just scored one too many tries. They could have given Jared Blood a goal to save punters there, but regardless. The other team for me, I kind of feel we're at this is the last swing of the fences for Penrith, I think, in this project run. You certainly wouldn't want to rule them out. I am concerned about Melbourne now. They've got a hard run in, but, they're obviously well positioned right now as to where they're at. But of the three at the top of the market, they're the one I wouldn't want to be on. Not sure they've got that other gear to get to. Interesting one, those are Broncos out the back door there. I think they're still severe unders at $13. They are 11th on the ladder, a good chance of losing this week. I reckon they're absolutely dusted. So, lay the Broncos and keep laying them.
Oh, thanks, Toprope. Okay, MG, can we have a quick rundown of your round 17? What do we get? 4 of 9 because obviously we had the upsets. That was hurting.
Yeah, got disappointing week, 2 weeks in a row now. So I was fighting my way back for 5 weeks and then giving it back. But yeah, got our chips in at the right price, both Collingwood and Carlton. But couldn't get either result home in close. Lost both of them by 2 goals. So yeah, -6 units, and that's taken me back down to only % up now. So going to have to work hard the last 2 months of the year to get up to an acceptable percentage. But yeah, like a few games this week. So on we go.
If any man is up to the challenge, I know it is you. Alrighty. And the GGOA, well, darling, you had a look at you. Clean sweep, 5 of 5. He's absolutely gloating all the way. Tell me all about it, Toprope.
Well, I'm not a gloater, Nikki. The punting gods can come back and hit you square between the eyes just as well as they lifted you up last week. So had a good week, had a good year. We went 5 of 5, up 10.75 units, nearly 90% up. So 77 and 44 for the year, plus 63 units at 19.48%. So absolutely no complaints for subscribers on what is a pretty cheap package when you get well set up.
It is huge. And obviously we're going to get another Origin in there too. So I have full confidence in you. All right, MG, do you want to go and have a look at this first game that we're going to have tomorrow, Friday night? So we've got Collingwood taking on Geelong. Friday night, 7:40. Collingwood, 207. Geelong, $1.73. The line is 3.5 over under 168.5.
Yeah, it's I actually don't mind this game. Even though I was on Collingwood last week, I've jumped ship. Easy to get me to sway, but yeah, 9th v 5th on the ladder. I just think the injuries are starting to mount up too much for Collingwood here. And the loss of Myercheck up forward where they're struggling to put scores on the board, I think is too much to cover. Geelong are going okay. They've won their last 2, whereas Collingwood have lost their last 2. So I just think both positive records at the MCG. So it's no negative for Geelong coming to the MCG. They play plenty of football there. I was happy to chime in Geelong at $1.85, back them head-to-head earlier in the week. So the market's moved from -1 to -3 to Geelong. There's some 4s around as well. So I kind of think if it's going to move anyway, I think it has to move to Geelong just with the team news. Collingwood have got some sore boys at the moment. They're not running out the games and not putting the score on the board. So Geelong are no world beaters, but I just think the way the trends are going at the moment at near Pickham, I'm more happy to be on Geelong. There could be some points in this game. Both teams are on an overstretch. Collingwood last 3 games have been overs, Geelong last 4. So if the weather holds, that's the only predicament I've got at the moment holding off. But yeah, 169 down to 168. So there is a bit of weather forecast. But if not, then I think there could be some points. Might be an open game. But yeah, pretty keen on Geelong early doors. And I think they'll get the chocolates.
Okay, Geelong there for MG. Now, here we go. We got the Dolphins taking on the Rabbitohs. That is tonight at 7:50. The Dolphins, $1.65. Rabbitohs, $2.25. The line is -3.5, over under 50.5. Top rope.
Yeah, it's understand. Probably the most difficult to assess of the week. Leaning towards Rabbitohs here, mainly because of the team they're running out. Dolphins have lost Hammer and Jerry Marshall King, as well as Felix Kafusi. So losing 2 of their, probably their 2 most important spine members there. South, of course, Nella Trell, Cam Murray are origin duty, but still have Damien Cook, Cam Climatangi, Cody Walker, Jack White. So pretty handy call out they're going to run out. So probably have to be at South at the odds. Don't mind the over here either. Over 61.8% when there's a team of shorter than $2 of a buy. 12-4 in the Dolphins off conceding 26 plus. 21-13, including the last 5 went South through the state. So there could be some points here. I think neither side having that fullback's going to hurt both defences as well. So, yeah, over small bet. South's a bit small, but they'll play some.
All right. Thanks, Top Rope. I like that. Now we are going to have a look at Saturday afternoon's game, the Western Bulldogs and Carlton. The Western Bulldogs, $2.65. Carlton, $1.44. The line is 13.5 and the over-under 175.5. MG.
Yeah, good game. I like this one at the Dome, so weather won't be affecting this game. We've got 11th Bulldogs against the second place Carlton, both off losses last week, so they'll be looking to bounce back, especially the Bulldogs. They got absolutely smashed by Port Adelaide last week by 8 goals, so they were disappointing. Got a couple of injuries as well. Going to lose Norton and O'Donnell both to concussion, so it's not helping their cause. Injuries are starting to mount up a bit for the Bulldogs, which is a worrying sign. But, yeah, they've got a tough draw home, so they're going to have to knock off a few of these teams to play finals if they want to. But, yeah, I'm pretty keen on Carlton. They were very good early against the Giants, and then they just went away for 2 quarters. And I think a lot of that was due to Wiedering being off the ground. It just shows how important to Carlton he is, and he's the question mark to play. So the betting's gone from 11.5 Carlton to 13.5, so a bit of support there for the Blues. At this stage, I'm going to stay out of the side just because of the team news, I think, is key at this stage. If we're going to play, we'll play later, but really keen on the points in this total. Both sides leak in defence. Bulldogs are 11-5 on the overs this year, and Carlton are 12-4. So they've last 5 games have been over games, and Carlton 5 of 6 have been over, and their offense has been unbelievable. 5 of the 6 have gone over 100 points in the last 3 games. They've gone over 200 points in the total. So I think 174 is far too cheap. I think this should be closer to 180 at the Dome. Both got injury depleted defences, so yeah, I think there'll be plenty of points. I think they'll plenty of scoring if they kick straight. They'll get the job done, and yeah, just going to wait out on the side at this stage. I think both sides got too many injuries. And if Wiedering doesn't play, then that'll just help the total more.
Okay, so maybe a late play there for MG. Thank you. Now we're going to have a look at the Sharks and the Tigers. Friday night, the second game, 8 p.m. Cronulla, $1.44. The West Tigers are $2.80. The line is -7.5, over under 48.5. Top rope. Yeah,
big story here is Nico Hines out for the next day at West with a broken leg. Interesting osmosis, so sad for him. Obviously, he's star player for the Sharks, but I actually think his absence will serve the side well for the next couple of weeks. And their dip in form is very much coincided with his dip in confidence. So I think having him out on the side now, the group for a little bit won't hurt. I think it'll allow Braden Fenner to take a bit more ownership of the team. Like the Sharks this week, I think the Tigers are in a very bad spot. Tigers smashed the Sharks last on 36, embarrassing loss for Cronulla, one of their only losses early in the year. So Cronulla will not be taking them lightly. The Tigers, very, very ordinary in a game that was 2 straight winnable against the Storm and Leichhardt last week. I don't know, extraordinary report. Only covered 4 of 13 in New South Wales. Born 14 was a full loss, covered as 42%. Sharkies, one thing they do is they feast on the bottom feeders, 12-5 against the spread against the bottom 4 teams. I've got to be good. You got to show a bit of faith with Cronulla considering their recent form, but I'm happy to lay the points and back the Sharks. And the 7.5 a little too light.
Fins up there, yes, as we say. Nico Hines, he can have a shoulder to cry on down here in Melbourne any day he likes. What? The poor kid. I feel for him. Now, the game we really, really want to talk about, MG, Melbourne and Essendon. No, you don't. Saturday night, 7:30, Melbourne, 240. The Bombers, $1.55. The line is 9.5 over under 164.5.
The excitement level went up there, Tad, when you talk about one of your teams, don't you?
Yes.
This is an interesting game, I'd say. I think just shows Essendon are just running well this year. Every team they kind of come up against, there just seems to be a debacle on the other end. Last week they got Collingwood with a few injuries. This week they run into the Gawn, their main player, their captain, their ruckman, goes down with an injury to his foot or ankle that he hardly read last week. So he's going to miss it probably 2, I'd say. So the betting jumped hard here. Essendon were slight favourites at -2. They moved to -9 now, so it shows the importance of Max, and I think it kind of just multiplies the effect on losing Petrarca 3 or 4 weeks ago as well. So Essendon have got no excuses here. Essendon haven't been going great. Even though Melbourne have lost 5 of their last 8, Essendon have still lost 3 of their last 5. They had an important win last week, but they've been a bit inconsistent in terms of their win-loss. They haven't really put a streak together. So I think this is kind of important for Essendon if they want to be a serious, even finals team, but a chance to make the top 4. They've got to knock off Melbourne, who without Gawn and Petrarca. So I think the betting's about right. No real play for me in this game. I think the total's about right as well. I just think, it's Essendon's really put a statement on and show that they've, go back to beat Collingwood and Melbourne. It's a good effort and set themselves up for a proper finals campaign. So I think Melbourne I just think they've almost thrown in the towel, Melbourne. I think they know that they're behind the 8 ball. If they lose this game, I think they'll nearly put an end to their season. So, Essendon for me, but can't find a play in the game, Nick.
That was hard for you to say, wasn't it, MG? I look forward to the running commentary you're going to provide me on Saturday night. Okay, now, one of my other teams. Yes, Toprope, we're going to talk about the Broncos and the Dragons. Saturday night at Suncorp. Broncos, $1.52. St George, $2.55. The line is -5.5 over under 49.5.
I suspect the Broncos are cast at the moment, and if I spawn the trot, I'm not really sure they've got the team on the peg to turn things around this week. No Walsh, no Cobbo, no Carrigan, no Haas. To go with the injuries, Reynolds, Jock Madden, they're playing a young kid, Josh Rogers, at halfback this week. Dragons have no Lomax, no Hunt, but Ravalawa is a fair replacement for Lomax on a wing, and Jesse Marshke did lead the Dragons to a road over penniless during last Origin with no Ben Hunt. So Dragons have won 6 of 8 against the Broncos. They've covered 14 of 21 of a loss of 20 plus. Broncos covered 1 of the last 6 at Suncorp. I really think that this betting should be much, much closer. I think you get a plus. If you're a bit shop, you can get +6. It's a great bet, but I'll be betting these guys all the way down to pick them. I think the Dragons will win this straight up. So backing the Dragons plus is the big bet. Backing them to win and backing them 13 plus also is there.
It's just St George all the way for you. Okay, all right. I look forward to our chat.
I don't even like them that much. This is just a bad spot for the guys. Like, they're at state all the time, and they're badly coached. So better than not.
Free fall. I would agree with you there. Okay, now let's go and have a chat about Gold Coast and Port Adelaide. This is Sunday afternoon. Gold Coast, $1.66. Port Adelaide, $2.18. The line is -5.5. Over under 166.5. MG.
Yeah, I like this spot, Nick. Yeah, 12 v 6 we've got here. And obviously the Suns, they're an enigma of a side. We're on them to make the finals. I'm just not sure how they're going to get the job done because they don't have enough home games. But they're still undefeated at home, and if you include the Darwin games, they're 8-0, but they're 6-0 at where they're playing at this venue at Metricon or whatever they call them now. But I'll tell you what, last week, losing to the Kangaroos on the road, they still have not won on the road. Major concern. They've lost 3 of their last 4 now, so I think Port Adelaide's a good spot for this. We bet them earlier. Didn't bet the line. I've actually gone the 1 to 39 just because the Gold Coast games are generally close and lower scoring. even though it is a day game as opposed to a night game up there. But yeah, bet Port Adelaide when it was 8.5, 9.5. It's down to 5.5. So the money's come for Port. They've taken the 1 to 39 slot. So hopefully Gold Coast don't come out and win by 1 to 8 points. I will be filthy next week. But even though Gold Coast have got the winning record at home, I just think Port Adelaide are going a bit better. They've won their last two. This is just an important game for Port as is for Gold Coast. I just think with the injuries, losing Miller and also day up forward, the Gold Coast will hurt them. Port will lose George-Illawarra as well, but they've got the players to cover, I think. So the interesting stat here is, just what beckons out is Port Adelaide won their last 14 against the Gold Coast. So it's an unbelievable streak that they got going at the moment, and they have won 7 of them up at the Gold Coast. So they have no fear going up there. They must like the winter break up on the Gold Coast. So really keen on Port Adelaide here. I think they're close to one of the better bets of the week, and I think they will stop Gold Coast's home run.
Oh, I like that. Love that confidence. Thanks, MG. Okay, now let's go and have a look at this game here. Top rope, we've got Manly taking on the Knights. Sunday afternoon, Manly $1.40, Knights $2.95. The line is -7.5, over under 48.5. Top rope.
Knights best of the week for mine. Silly price, this one. I know that now I have Turbo, but their tactics when Tedeschi Evans missed last time were it was embarrassing for NTC, but he's at least chosen the Yankee Jamie Humphries. I'm probably halfback to play this week, but Knights have been very underrated here. They're missing Ponga, Best, and Gary White, the Origin. Well, they've got a great record without Ponga. 28-9 against the spin without him. Gary White and Best are both obviously talented players, but hardly players you super aligned to winning out. Knights have covered 13 and 15-day games, 6 straight off scoring 6 in a few, 10 or 13 road downs. I'm all over the Knights here. I think they're going to play a dull, boring, conservative game. Keep it low scoring, make it a mucky game. I think that'll go home. I think, again, big outsider of the plus, but you can definitely sprinkle someone on the Knights to win. They can definitely win this one.
Yeah, $2.95. Who isn't jumping all over that at Top Sport? Okay, I love it. All right, thanks, Top Rope. Punters, he is on a heater. You can get the GGOA from $33 a week in the Little Birdie Live shop for all your NRL action. And the AFL Stings MG is up for the challenge this week. That's $25 in the Little Birdie Live shop as well. Okay, that is a wrap for this week. Thanks for having me. Remember, all of your betting action is at topsport.com.au. You can follow us on our socials, which is at Little Birdie TV. We are on Twitter and Insta. Obviously, you can watch this show on YouTube if you follow Little Birdie. Our podcast is available in Spotify. We are SoundCloud, wherever you get your good podcasts from. Remember to have a great weekend. Punt responsibly. We'll see you next week for some Origin recap. All right. Thank you.